China, the country building the future. China is no longer simply preparing for the future, it is actively building it. Imagine standing beneath a bridge so enormous that it disappears into the mountains, watching a high-speed train rush past at hundreds of kilometers per hour, while futuristic skyscrapers illuminate the skyline in the distance. This may sound like science fiction, but this is modern China. Over the last few decades, China has transformed itself through one of the largest infrastructure and engineering expansions in human history. From high-speed railways and enormous bridges to deep mountain tunnels, automated factories, smart cities, and renewable energy projects, China has continuously pushed the boundaries of what modern engineering can achieve. But the most fascinating part isn't simply the size of these projects. It is the combination of speed, technology, investment, and enormous scale behind them. One of the clearest examples is China's high-speed railway network. Trains now connect major cities across enormous distances, allowing millions of passengers to travel rapidly between regions. Instead of depending only on highways and airports, China invested heavily in dedicated railway lines, massive stations, bridges, and tunnels. In difficult mountainous regions, engineers have had to cross deep valleys and cut directly through mountains, constructing enormous viaducts and complex tunnel systems. The result is a transportation network that has dramatically changed how people move across the country, turning journeys that once took many hours into much shorter trips. But China's engineering achievements don't stop at railways. Across mountainous regions, enormous suspension bridges, cable-stayed bridges and elevated highways now connect places that were once separated by deep valleys and difficult terrain. From the air, some of these structures look almost unreal, with roads climbing mountains, bridges stretching across huge gaps, and highways disappearing into tunnels before emerging on the other side. These projects are more than spectacular landmarks. They can connect communities, reduce travel times, and create new opportunities for trade, tourism, and regional development. Then there are the tunnels. Instead of simply going around massive mountains, modern engineering allows transportation routes to pass directly through them. Huge tunnel boring machines can cut through rock, while advanced digital systems monitor construction and safety. In some areas, bridges, tunnels, and elevated highways work together as one enormous transportation system, creating connections through landscapes that once seemed almost impossible to develop. But perhaps the most visible transformation is happening in China's cities. Cities such as Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou have developed enormous skylines filled with futuristic towers, massive transportation hubs, and advanced urban infrastructure. Yet modern Chinese cities aren't simply becoming taller, they are becoming smarter. Digital systems, intelligent traffic management, automated transportation, and data-driven services are increasingly being integrated into urban life. The goal is to manage enormous populations while improving transportation, energy use, and public services. China is also rapidly expanding automation and robotics. Inside modern factories, robotic arms can assemble products, move materials, and perform repetitive tasks with extraordinary precision. Machines are increasingly being used for work that is dangerous, repetitive, or requires extreme accuracy, while digital systems allow engineers to monitor production in real time. This technological transformation is also reaching the construction industry, where advanced machinery and digital planning systems are helping engineers manage increasingly complex infrastructure projects. But behind all of this is one extraordinary factor: scale. China has a population of more than 1 billion people, and building infrastructure for such a massive population requires enormous planning, investment, and coordination. A single major project can involve thousands of engineers, workers, machines, companies, and suppliers. Large-scale investment and long-term planning have allowed China to construct transportation networks, cities, and industrial facilities on a scale rarely seen elsewhere. However, rapid development also comes with serious challenges. Massive construction requires enormous amounts of raw materials, energy, and money. Building highways, bridges, and cities can transform natural landscapes and place pressure on ecosystems. Rapid urban expansion can also create environmental and social challenges, while some major projects raise questions about economic efficiency and long-term maintenance. So China's engineering story isn't simply a story of technological success. It is also a story about finding the difficult balance between development, cost, and sustainability. Yet despite these challenges, China's transformation is impossible to ignore. Mountains are being connected, cities are being linked, factories are becoming automated, transportation is becoming faster, and technology is becoming deeply integrated into everyday infrastructure. But perhaps the most important question isn't what China has already built. The real question is what China will build next. Artificial intelligence, robotics, renewable energy, autonomous transportation, and smart city technology are developing rapidly, and the infrastructure being created today could become the foundation for an even more technologically advanced society tomorrow. Imagine a future where autonomous vehicles communicate with intelligent roads. High-speed trains connect cities in minutes, robots work alongside humans, and renewable energy powers enormous urban centers. For China, that future may not be as distant as it sounds. The country has already demonstrated what can happen when technology, engineering, investment, and ambition are combined on an enormous scale. China's futuristic infrastructure is therefore more than a collection of giant bridges, trains, and skyscrapers. It represents a much bigger experiment. How far can a country reshape its physical world using modern technology? The answer is still being written. And perhaps the most spectacular structures China builds tomorrow haven't even been imagined yet. As the sun sets over its mountains and cities, another high-speed train races across the landscape, connecting one region to another. The lights of the cities grow brighter. The roads continue forward. The machines keep building. And the future keeps getting closer. Because China isn't just waiting for tomorrow. China is building it today.